Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain back for the final part of the Chain 1 for Sharn. Now if you are looking to get to Sharn, I definitely recommend checking out the beginning of my video, a Sharn welcome. It will detail more detail on how to get here, but essentially you can port here from the harbor on the kind of the eastern side. And yeah, so the final part is bestowed by Edwin Tremont, and it is a quest called Just Business. Now, like all the others, once you have the quest, the entrance is the ship here. And here we go. So this quest, if you'll notice our little knoll here on this weird little green kind of floaty thing, these are called source sleds, and before you get any further, yes, you can actually ride them. Now, typically speaking, I never do, as they tend to actually slow you down, but it is a really neat mechanic. So the first thing you need to do is you actually need to head onto this little kind of skiff, and while on the skiff you want to talk to Casper. Here he can provide you with some information, and as you see, even if you select the wrong answer, which they will tell you the correct thing you're supposed to tell them when you're picking up the quest, but even if you get the wrong answer, nothing really happens. And essentially he's going to port you up here for a little bit of a shadow show. Now, you can sit up here and watch them. Uh, it's kind of a long cinematic, kind of annoying as we gotta sit there and watch. Once they're done, it's gonna float down, and we're gonna actually get attacked. Now, what I typically do is I will cast some buffs here, if you got any, and then I'll hide around the corner just to the south here. This will give me a little bit of leeway when we are getting attacked to be able to fight back. So let's just watch our far too long conversation. All right. All right. So as you can see, it takes a very long time. But once you're done, it does give you the quest to survive an ambush, and it drops the ship right down there. The ambush starts over here with just a couple of guys, nothing major. But they're also going to then come from up top there as well. Now you do have an objective to keep them from getting hurt. Um, honestly, he can't die, so don't have to worry about that. Once he is down, you do want to talk to him. You do kind of get an optional if he doesn't get knocked down, but if he does, not a big deal. From here, you want to talk to him, let him know that you can count on him, and he will say to clear the path. At this point, as you see, we got a whole bunch of source sleds, which you can click on, and again, it will give you the ability of flight, which I will show you a little bit later on in the quest here. So from here, or you got Wolf there. So from here, you're actually going to want to head north, all the way here, and it'll drop down the door when you talk to him. From here, up the stairs, and you'll continue to the corner. Now, once you reach the corner here, it will spawn in some enemies. up top. So there they are. They're actually going to come in at you here. So you do just got to watch yourself. With having a source sled, you can actually bug it out. If the guys up top there kind of back up, because they can fly outside of the boundary zone, you cannot. Now, if they fly outside of that boundary zone, you will essentially be stuck. And as you see, we got a Famine Reaper who fell down there. So we'll just quickly kill him. So yeah, you'll get stuck with them up there and you'll be forced to restart. That's one of the main spots there. There's another one coming up, but essentially if you can get past this part without them bugging out, you're pretty well gold. Alright, so from here we're going to head south, up the stairs, and then we actually need to cross this bridge. Now, as we start crossing the bridge, oh, we should have guys spawning in. Does seem maybe one of these guys. Oh, if we look on our map, we'll see two more here, kind of hiding on us. There we go. So once these guys die, immediately it's going to spawn in guys here. Typically speaking, they charge straight at you, which is why I was confused on where they were. But yeah, it does also use that same method of marking out the enemies on your map with red dots, kind of pointing them out where you need to be before you continue. Now at this point, again, our door is locked, we can't really continue. It does kind of force us to listen to these guys here. And as soon as they're done, again, another conversation, we can again attack them. Once they're all dead, our door unlocks, allowing us to push forward. So if you also have the source sled or want to use the source sled, you can actually just fly around here as well and not have to deal with these. Now, I didn't actually see that one soon enough, but there are some random spawning traps in here. So you do just got to be careful. Typically speaking, you'll see some over there where these guys are. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly kill off these guys here. Or the ones that I can. Alright. And then again, proceed across the bridge to the south. Or again, you can fly if you have taken the source sleds. Proceed up the here. Now, right at this door, there are some traps, so just watch yourself. Now, these are mines. You can get them from a little ways away. If you are too close, however, they will go off. So you do want to break them from a distance. And then just head on inside. Again, you'll continue through for a few more guys, and here's a ladder to get the rest of the guys that you weren't able to get to. On the other side of the door, we do have another trap, so just watch yourselves. There we go. And then again, you want to hop up the ladder, as we do need to kill all the enemies here. So we got our last archer here. Alright. And once you defeat everybody, basically the guy, Casper, he kind of slowly makes his way closer and closer to where you are, but he stops at each wave. So this next section, we have a bunch of these boom bats. Now essentially they are suicide kamikaze bats. Now, like bats, they typically have lower hit points, but also like bats, they can be annoying to hit. So I typically like to get them from a range because they don't really have, again, a very large hit point pool. So here we go, we got a nice chunk of them. And there we go, a couple of rems, and we can head in. So there are still a few of those boom bats left, and they'll actually be inside this building here, so we can actually shoot to break the glass. It does seem that that's already been done, and we can hop right on inside through the door here. So a few more breakables, and as you can see, by the door, another mine. So they like placing them at the doorways, which is really smart and typically where you would place a trap. And then you got my own trap. Alright. From here, we're going to want to head off to the right, down the ramp, up the ramp, the stairs, and then again up here. Now, as we get up here, it's going to spawn in another wave of ambush. So there's that there. Now, again, at each section, you do need to kill everybody. If not, Casper won't actually make his way forward. So again, from here, we do have some breakables. But other than that, there's not much on this side. Now, heading south, past our waterfall here into this room, we're actually going to start running into one more breakables. But with this waterfall here, you'll actually run into some hidden gnome or hidden goblins, and just kind of lying in wait for another ambush. Alright, so once everyone's down, again we have some more. So these guys here, again, you can range them, and doing so will actually force them to start running down. Now they will run down and around past the ship here, which has a couple of enemies on it, as well as a magefire cannon, and they're going to come down through the bottom of the tower, like so, and they're going to make their way towards us. So they'll head across the bridge, and then up the ramp. So there's the stairs. And here they are. So of course at any point you can kind of jump in and stop them. But again, I prefer to use range with the jump technique. As you see, most of these arrows we're not even getting a miss chance on. So it really just helps survivability a lot. Alright, so we got one last guy who is coming. So once you've defeated all that, you want to head down. Of course, make sure there's nobody left on the ship. Once everybody on the ship is defeated, the gunship is considered downed, and you can proceed. Now, here's another, this tower here is another place where they like to place a lot of traps. So just watch yourself. You'll see he actually set one off there. I gotta try and get these traps without getting hit. There we go. And then just proceed to the top of the tower, or again, you can take your source sleds, dealer's choice. Alright, so from here, we do have two directions to go. We can head off to the bottom here, or you can head continuing straight. If you go to the bottom, it is actually an optional, and this is where I typically use the source sleds. So I'll come in here, we have this guy here. If we actually hop on a source sled, you can kind of fly straight up, and he is out of range. He cannot see you. Well, he can see you, but he can't hit you. Of course, if you have a tank, you can fight him with the tank. Like Wolf there, he has the aggro, and you can go ahead and kill him. Fortunately, though, this guy's a champ and did drop a rem chest way up in the air. That makes it a little bit more difficult. And we also have a shrine and a bunch of breakables in here. Now, one thing I wish you can do is to cancel the source sled. Unfortunately, as you see, it does last for just over lasts for about 4 minutes, and you are stuck with it during that time. So now I'm going to continue on as if we didn't have source sled. So what you want to do is back on out of the room and head across here, up the stairs, and you're going to want to continue to this corner here. Now, when you get to this corner, a bunch of gunships are going to kind of come down. 3 to be specific. And it's also going to spawn in a few other enemies as well. They're kind of flying and floating around. Now, again, basically you're supposed to destroy everything on them. So just watch yourself. Oh, those turrets hurt. So yeah, the main reason I hate these things is obviously you can't jump while you're on a source sled. So I'm not able to stand still and gain the additional bonus for using the archer's focus. as well. We're getting hit a lot more for damage as they are slow maneuverability. Ooh, another rem chest. See if I can't grab that while I'm up in the air here. So obviously while you're on a sword sled, I definitely recommend spending as little time over the kind of abyss as possible. If you do happen to fall down there, there are sword sleds so you can get back up. However, it is a bit of a pain because again, you're stuck with the sword sled. Alright, and then once all the sword sleds are defeated, including the mage fire cannons, we'll be able to move up. There we are. So as we're moving up, we have a door here, which is locked. You can unlock the door. Ooh, and there goes our sword sled. Even better. You can unlock the door. It does have a small chest inside, which random loot, but it also has another set of shrines. So it's a nice little place to rest if needed. And then again, another locked door to get back out. If you're not able to pick the lock, don't worry. You can just literally run right around the tower. Nothing special here. It's fresh deathward. Alright. So now once out on this side, we'll see Casper kind of making his way forward. And this is actually going to be the end fight. So that shrine there is the last chance before the end. Now, with sword sleds, if you are using a sword sled heading towards this bridge, that giant like symbol will actually remove all sword sleds. So if you're on one, it'll just kick you right off. So our final fight takes us in here. And it has kind of a two-phase section. So the first phase is fighting these guys here, these gnolls. Now I do want to point out Gish here, he has a really nasty, he basically uses a whirlwind and he like speeds towards you. So it's really deadly. So there he was there using that ability. And it can really do a lot of damage as well. So it does help to have a really strong tank for this. Someone to can tank Gish while you are killing trash, because again, I do recommend typically killing trash before anything else. After which, just go ahead, straight beat down. Alright. So once he is defeated, you'll see him drop. But then you'll see a dimension door. He's kind of gonna disappear. Now, it does give you one last shrine. This is literally before the end fight. So we had that guy. And then what you need to do is you need to walk over here, pull the lever. It will bring over a little elevator for us. You need to hop on the elevator, and it's going to proceed us over to, again, our final area. So just while you're on it, pull the lever, and away you go. So here, we are going to have a goblin right here. And he will, every now and then, toss a giant circle on your character. Typically, if you are standing still, that's where he's going to place it. Um, and essentially what it is it slowly aims on your character and he goes for a big attack. Now, this big attack is very deadly, so you definitely need to watch out and try and avoid. Now, he will, once he takes X amount of damage, teleport out and go to another location, but he will slowly make his way back towards you. Now, what a lot of people tend to do is actually just head down to the bottom here, underneath, and fight him down there. The reason being, he doesn't actually provide a lot of enemies spawning in down that location. A lot of his enemies are spawning up top here, and I actually saw where he ported off to. And like, so here's that ability. So as you see, it kind of zones in. If you were to stand still, he hits you like a truck. And it can easily be insta-kill effects. Just simply with the amount of damage it does. So here he is sneaking up behind us. There he goes, porting behind us again. And there we go. So once he's done, you can still go around grabbing the last of the breakables up here and killing off any additional trash that happens to be down. If you are looking for conquest, you will need to kill everybody and hold off on killing the Urk until after you get that conquest. Once you do, simply return here, talk to Isabet, you get your XP, but then you get another little conversation here that's taking place. Once you get that done, it will eventually spawn a chest approximately right here. Actually, right here. So here's Urk. You'll notice a familiar sword through him, and this is where he actually stops and explains they are actually using the Gibber's Blade to give themselves enough to go, and that's where he says Jack Gibber's Blade. But anyway, once the chest spawns in, you can go ahead and grab your loot. You don't actually have to listen to his conversation. And there. So again, you can get some named loot out of here, such as the Platinum Knuckles, which, ooh, that is a very nice little one, and I got a Mythic 4 on that. And yeah, so it's kind of going through, and that is the last part to Sharn Change 1. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one all.